Thanksgiving, a day to commemorate America's violent and bloody past. It's a shame there aren't more horror movies around a holiday that is built on murder in all its respects. But there's nothing a good meal can't reconcile, right? We all know that. Displacement, persecution, rape, sacrifice, genocide. I mean, it's like here's some honey jalapeno cornbread, a leg of turkey, some pumpkin pie. Had a good time. We've all forgotten about it already. It's like a good meal can heal all types of wounds. The leftover sandwich the next day, of course, a reminder that underneath it all, we're all fat pieces of gluttonous shit that desire nothing more than to stuff our face into a coma like oblivion. In fact, I'm pretty sure that we could find peace in all the world's active genocides. From Gaza, Myanmar, Sudan, Democratic Republic of Congo, so they too can eventually move forward with decimated, subjugated, scarred, and traumatized populations by giving them casinos, abject poverty, diabetes, and poisoned uranium water. But I've also had a little bit of a falling out with the holiday. I'm really not, I've been disinvited, uninvited. Can you believe this from Friendsgiving? Okay. All because the last time, okay, the last time I did a toast, which was great. I'm going to say it right now. Okay. Stood up, ding, 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 and stood up, to give a toast. Everyone enjoying the food? Good food? Yeah. Great. Please take, eat. This is my body. Enjoying the wine. Enjoying the wine, aren't you? It's pretty good. It's Coppola's finest wine. Um, this is my blood. Blood of the covenant, which is poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins. Do this in remembrance of me, for one of you will betray me. Which I was trying, if they would have let me finish, I was trying to kick off a murder mystery, like dinner theater type thing to like find Judas. And it's like, if everyone wasn't such a fucking square, I really think this thing could take off. I really think it should and could be like a more widely practiced game, at least around Christmas time. Okay, I feel like the people need it, and it's fun, contrary to everyone else's belief. It's not the Christ way. It is not the Christ way to disinvite a person from Friendsgiving for having a little bit of a fucking good time, okay? A little bit of a sense of humor, okay? But whatever, I'm mixing holidays, and it's time to stay on track. I got some crispy Brussels sprout mac and cheese to make. Okay, so it's time to stay on track. Don't keep me for too long, guys. God, every fucking time. It's like I'm trying to get to my life and do my things, and you guys are always going on and on. But let's stick to this holiday, shall we? Let's stick to this holiday that's so easily forgotten, dismissed, and overshadowed because shallowly beneath the foundation is a river of bloodied remains. Which brings us to our two tonight: Blood Rage, that came out in 1987, with Thanksgiving, that came out in 2023. Now, Blood Rage is a movie that a group of jean jacket, jean jacketed, headband wearing kids would bully the main character of a TGIF sitcom into watching at a Halloween party, for sure. Disturbed and, of course, sickened by the character's catchphrase, "It's not cranberry sauce." I don't know why I said it like that because he does not have a he doesn't have an accent. It's not cranberry sauce. I don't know how to say his voice, but that's his catchphrase. But of course, this main character would be so disturbed and sickened by the catchphrase. They'd call their dad to pick him up, and it would really wrap up in a nice, lovely, parental talk about peer pressure. They're a good kid. They got a good head on their shoulders, and it's like even when they falter, they always end up making the right decision. Unlike the kids that stayed, who were definitely going to turn to caffeine pills and take one puff of a cigarette that they don't inhale. They'd be marred, diseased, and rock bottomed by horror films, just like you and just like me. Just like Karen, Todd, Terry, and their whore fucking mom. So the movie starts with twins, Todd and Terry, at a drive-in movie with their mother and a date. And the boys pretend to be like sleeping in the back seat, and they're trying to catch their mom's like sexually frustrated date, playing just the tip. And the mother's like objecting, and her date is like, he's like curiously like, God damn moms, and their goddamn kids always blocking my cock and shit. And it's like, they're not that old, so it is curious because it's like, you could just not date moms. It is a little weird, like you'd bring them on this type of date, but whatever. I guess this is just not the MILF chasers way. It's like resent the kids, fuck the mom, as they say. Um, but anyway, so the twins decide, like, let's, I don't know, watching mommy getting motorboated is just, it doesn't have that same sing it used to have. So they start like, let's wander around the drive-in, and let's kill a guy. Let's kill a guy. I mean, why not? Let's do it. So Terry like finds his hatchet, and he's just enraged. He's looking out at all these freaks in seats, and he's like, they're not even interested in watching the film. And so of course he cracks his skull open in his love for cinema. Now, I will say about this kid, I would love to have him roam in an AMC. Now, I'd love to have him roam in a modern AMC, just some like 10-year-old with a deadly weapon, and he's running around, he's threatening to spray blood for anyone who dares to whip out a phone. I feel like this would be a definite draw. I would in fact pay more money for my AMC membership. I would pay more for my A-list, just to ensure this kid had a 401k. That's how much I really believe in it, and I really think it would be a great idea. So they should think about it. But he frames his twin brother for like the crime, and yeah, and everyone's just so easily snowed, and it's like really not convincing at all. But to everyone there, it's like we're living in their world, and they're very convinced by it. So Terry frame is the one that's framing. Todd's the one that gets framed, and he like, is thrown into this mental institution, prison. But now it's Thanksgiving. 10 years later, oh yeah, it's the day. And Todd has escaped. Only like the thing is like he's escaped, and everyone's like he's out for revenge, only he's like not really. I don't think so. He's more just like kind of wandering around. He's trying to find his mother's love for sure. But of course it's like we all know that bitch is on her back again, for some other goddamn douchebag. And this time they're getting married. And this doesn't sit right with Terry. He's like, you know what? If my mom gets to humping again, she's never gonna watch another film. She'll be dicked from the fucking first act to the third. And that's no way to spend awards season. She'll start asking questions that were clearly fucking answered in the film. She's saying, I didn't understand the vibe, Terry. And it's like, well, you didn't properly envelop yourself in the world, you cunt whore. He can't allow this. He can't allow it. It's unacceptable. And to be honest, this new stepdad, he takes forever to carve a turkey. It takes him like several fucking years to get a little bit of a slice out. It's disgusting. Okay, he's just so he starts killing. Okay, he starts killing again, and he becomes really married to this catchphrase. It's not cranberry sauce, which he tries out on more than a few victims, and like no one's really impressed by it. It's a little bit embarrassing. It's a little bit humiliating, because I feel like maybe he needed to like workshop a few more, and I think he would have had it. I think he would have had it if he just would have workshopped a few more of them. But he had to really get the taste to make sure. And he just kept going back for more, and none of us were really that into it. I think that's one of his worst crimes, to be honest, in the whole film. And he does murder people. But the kills are nothing spectacular. It's like, in fact, a lot of them are done like off screen, which I didn't like. But the theme of these street walking moms is definitely fun. I loved it. I was a huge fan. Like one character has like a newborn baby, and she's like already inviting strange in her home. It's like a real rock bottom dick addiction moment. And Todd and Terry's mom is fantastically like schizophrenic. She just starts dissolving. Her mental state just starts dissolving more and more throughout the film. And I think this might be like the first instance of like, ma'am, this is an Arby's. Because at one point she's like on the phone, and we think she's calling like the psychiatrist of the mental institution that Todd like escaped from. And it's like she's like, talking about Todd, and then she's like talking about how it feels to have him on the loose, and that she hopes they find him, and then she starts going into like, my fiance's missing, and I hope that you'll send him home soon. And so you're like, okay, there's something. Okay, what's the deal there? This is not sounding right. And then it's like she starts screaming about baking Todd a pie, and it's his favorite, and it's got in pumpkin, and then she's like, I want to bring it to him. And she's like begging to like visit him. And then she's like, wait, what? Like, what do I want to order? I want a number three. Like, and it's like, no, my son. And it's like hangs up, Um, and it's like, I just love to imagine this employee, it's like, he is living the Christ way, this guy, because it's like he's just listening to all this. He's taking it all in, like, yeah, no, that's fucking crazy, man. Here's the thing I think you need. I think you need an extra large bucket with an extra large cherry Coke. I'm gonna need that number three going for you. And it is a real sainthood. I mean, it really is extremely saintly. It's very very godlike. Because to be completely honest, when I worked service, it's like I would hang up the minute I knew someone was on the other line. Hello? Oh, there's somebody on the other line. Just click. I hang up. I'm not doing this fucking job. So anybody that can do the service industry, God bless. You are the closest to godliness. And I really do believe that. That's not a joke. Um, but so she's dissolving into absolute madness, and especially towards the end, which earmuffs if you don't want spoilers. So especially at the end, it's like she thinks that she's killing Todd, but she really kills Terry. But she's like holding Todd, and she's like, "Thank God, Terry! Thank God, Todd's out of our fucking lives now." Like, thank God that fucking idiot's gone forever, and I killed him. Okay, sorry. I don't know what happened. My camera shut off. But anyway, so she's like holding Todd, who she thinks is Terry, and she's like, "Oh God, thank God that idiot's fucking gone. Thank God I killed him." And he's like, "But I'm Todd. I'm Todd." And they both just start screaming that at each other. But I'm Todd. I'm Todd. I'm Todd. Until she finally just kills herself, shoots herself in the head. Gun goes sliding straight into frame with a splatter of blood. But it's fun stuff, great morals, obviously, lit like a daytime TV show, but much tamer than it needed to be, honestly. Like, only when it really ventured into really like psychotic territory did it really grab and keep my interest. But hey, as a bonus, we have Sam Raimi's brother playing a condom salesman. So for the love of Raimi, popsicle bright blood, and some extra light perversion to my displeasure. This could be everyone's staple, yet least favorite holiday side dish. Or condiment if we're still running with the cranberry sauce thing. But on to Eli Roth. Oh, Eli Roth. I love Eli Roth. I love the Hostel movies. I love Cabin Fever. And I definitely would love to highlight some of his criminally underseen films on the channel, like Knock Knock, which is fantastic. Okay, if you haven't seen it, watch it. I'm going to do something with Knock Knock. I just don't even know what is in its caliber to pair it with. So if anyone has any suggestions, drop them in the comments. But Eli Roth, man, he's the party man. Okay. And now Thanksgiving was not what I expected, but I thought it was great nonetheless. It's a fun slasher whodunit with a cast of characters you kind of hate to love. The opening scene is just absolutely incredible. Okay, I remember seeing it in the theater. It is so much fun. It's just like we get this really chaotic Black Friday massacre, that immediately just sets the pace for what fun it is to riot and slay. We even get a classic Thanksgiving scalping, okay? And the accents delight. I mean, really. And it incorporates social media in a really festive and fun way. Because I always love a creative villain with a flair for pageantry. That really captures my heart. It's like you can't kill without setting the scene straight out of a Red Book magazine with his like disposable fancy dinnerware. I love it. I think it adds to it. It gives him a little bit of flair. It gives him a little bit more, I think, credence to his kills. We get a Tim Dillon two-part cameo, friend of the channel. And the kills are super fun. The waitress especially is like super suspenseful, super brutal. Loved it. We even get a human corpse turkey. Okay, I mean, as promised in the original Grindhouse trailer, of course. But pulls it off spectacularly. And much to Terry's displeasure, I will say I do believe there's actually cranberry sauce on the table. Okay, but get over it, Terry. This isn't your movie. Step the fuck out of the way. Okay. I don't want to hear from Terry anymore. I really don't. I'm over Terry. Throw him to the dogs. Throw him in the pool. Get him out of here. Um, but this is where I depart slightly, because I saw Eli at a Q&A when they did like an early release for the movie. I was there. They did this Q&A and he kind of talked about why he decided to go in another direction from the original Grindhouse trailer. And he explicitly said, like, well, nobody wanted to see the movie that trailer promises. And I was like, excuse the fuck out of you. Okay, I don't mean no disrespect, but I would like to see it. I would. Okay. You're wrong in that respect because I would love to see it. And yes, I feel like it's a little bit like the cursed VHS from The Ring. It seems like that director like would have more than a Me Too controversy. He'd have like a full blown murder scandal, and then just like drop off the face of the earth and never be seen again. I feel like there'd be rumors of snuff. Someone would discuss it on Rogan. There'd be a creepy peek, like there'd be a creepy little picture online. You know, that's like, it's like some greasy, sweaty guy living in the California high desert. It's like the famous Bigfoot picture that was supposedly him. Like, yes, all of this is true. So, needless to say, if I was a billionaire, I would pay Eli Roth 900 million fucking dollaroos to see that cut. And I would expect to be so sickened that I would spend the rest of my days screaming, crying, and throwing up. It may not be what the people want, but rest assured it is exactly what I wanted. Of course, I was pleased with this version nonetheless, okay? It's fun, it's funny, it's fucking party rock, and it carries the holiday novelty straight up until the end, which I very much appreciated. So gather your loved ones, suffocate your face with mashed potatoes to quell your overcooked nervous system from the suffering and slaughter that not only litters our history, but most every aspect of our daily lives. And if that doesn't work, sit yourself in front of a screen for several hours and day drink until you start to think, I could kick the shit out of that Fruity Terry and his goddamn cranberry sauce. Shitbag John Carver and his right ma. Could you outsmart them? Outrun them? Outgun them? Well, there's only one way to find out. Study the cinematic texts and get in a fist fight with your cousin over it around the family dinner table. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.